Now live in the Bank Plus studio, where college football meets the all lifestyle.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is
The Out of Bounds Show with Bo Bounds, streaming around the world live at the Out of Bounds radio app and on your radio at ESPN 105.9.
Where are you?
The Zone.
All right, good morning. Welcome in. The Out of Bounds Show, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN, WRKS. Brought to you by the Bone-In Ribeye at Kessler Prime in the Renaissance. Visit KesslerPrime.com to make a reservation. They've had their wine list has been recognized by Wine Spectator at Kessler Prime since 2001. So they have some great juice on their wine menu. Live in the Bank Plus studio, we're streaming live on the Out of Bounds radio app. You can watch the show right now on YouTube. Search Out of Bounds Sports, or Facebook. Search the Out of Bounds Show. Super Bowl weekend. Everybody's getting ready to have a, I guess, smaller party maybe. But food and beverage will be flowing around America, that is for sure, as we get ready for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Kansas City Chiefs. And we want to welcome in special guest Todd Newman, owner of Dakota Shy Winery. And they're tied into sports, and he's a big sports fan too. So we thought, and there's a Mississippi tie to this winery, which is always awesome. And we're excited that Todd and his team are joining us in studio this morning. Todd, good morning. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing well, man. Thanks for having us.
So welcome into the Man Cave.
It's great. It's great. I could spend some time in here for sure.
It's a good office.
Indeed, it is.
You know, may not be better than your RV, but it's a good office.
Yeah, the rolling bus. Yeah, the Shyway tour that we're on. Yeah, you know, if it's got water pressure that's past about 10 psi, it's probably better.
All right, let's start with this. How did you get into the wine business?
Well, I grew up in North Dakota, really farming, and then out of high school, I ended up in Oregon, going to school out there, and that
What
was
school?
University of Oregon.
Oh, you went?
Yeah,
You're a
well,
dog.
for a year.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
but
really
still.
a Bison, NDSU Bison.
Okay.
That's where I.
That's the Carson Wentz tie.
Yeah,
We'll talk about later. Okay.
My guy, man. I love that guy. So got out to Eugene, and that's the microbrew revolution, right? I see a Fat Tire sign right here. When those guys were starting to take off, Oregon was really a mecca for that, and everybody would brew some beers in the garage, and a buddy and I took that up and kind of fell into it, loved it. On the West Coast, everybody calls mayonnaise aioli. So if you throw a peppercorn in there, you can charge $3 more for a same chicken sandwich that we were charging back home. And I was like, man, it costs $0.25 to brew a beer, and if I just call this aioli instead of mayonnaise, I got a game right here. So I moved to Nappa to kind of understand how to open this gastropub concept that I wanted to do, and that's what took me there, and eventually got me into the wine game.
And when was that?
2003 is when I ended up in Nappa.
And when did when did the Dakota Shy?
Dakota Shy was sort of birthed in 2008.
Okay.
I came from pretty humble beginnings. The wine game's a pretty capital intensive game to play,
Sure.
and so we started real slow and low. Tip money at a restaurant I was working at, and I just got to meet a lot of the locals, and one of them took a liking to me. He was a farming guy, came from sort of the same cut of cloth as I did, and he put me on a vineyard block back in 2008, which kind of changed the direction of everything we've got going today.
Okay. Todd Newman, Dakota Shy Winery. They're on the, is it the Shy Tour?
The Shyway tour, yeah.
Shyway Tour. I love that.
Yeah, so...
Did y'all come up with that one night after the third bottle of Cabernet Sauvignon?
That's actually when the cognac gets flowing a little bit. It was, we've had some challenges out in California, obviously, with some fires and COVID and unique looks at how to operate in a state. And so we took it on the road where we could basically go have a little bit more open business, and then really do some intimate one-on-one tastings from people who have drank the wine over the years, and just really just an appreciation tour. I was going crazy just sitting around for months on end, watching the winery be closed and whatnot. So we took it, we got proactive with it.
And you created the tour because of the pandemic?
Indeed, yeah. I really wanted to. I wanted to road trip with my buddies, but I didn't know how to make money and do that.
Right.
And then, I was always. I grew up in North Dakota, so going to get school clothes is a 7-hour drive to Minneapolis. So it was an easy thing to just get in and go. And we have folks. I've been doing this, I don't know, 17, 18 years now, and we've got folks all over the country. And friendships really were built from this wine. Wine is such a unique vehicle. It's a commodity unlike anything else. It's just so special. And so lots of friendships were born from that. And those folks weren't coming out to Nappa because we were closed for business. And so we bought a motorhome. We wrapped it to look like a tour bus, kind of like a rock and roll tour bus. Sadly, my music skills were never that good, so we took out the music and plugged in the wine, and we just drive across America hosting dinners where folks will have us.
That is super cool. That's cool. All right. So
sounds
Todd,
like your trip. Your type of trip,
listen,
right?
We have guests, fly in for 3-4 days, and we'll just we'll rip through America, have fun.
I may have to jump on for a couple of days, Blake.
They're going to NOLA next, so that's your alley, bro.
Yeah, that's right in my wheelhouse. Have you spent a lot of time in New Orleans?
I haven't actually. I really haven't. So I'm looking forward to it. I got a good buddy who's put me on some good restaurants. John Currents. He's up in Oxford, Mississippi. City
He's
Grocery.
the right guy.
Oh man, the guy is just
He's
such
a freak.
Such a cool cat. And on my way down, I stopped in Oxford. I had dinner with him, and went upstairs and got into a little bit of the whiskey with him. And
well,
just
John likes to do that.
Yeah, he's one of a kind. But just and John was a guy that I met when I was 24 years old, a waiter, basically somewhere qualified in between like an IHOP and Applebee's character. And then I get this job working at a Michelin star restaurant. And he was just, chefs are one of two people. They're either extremely awesome or they're just really hard to like sometimes.
Yes.
And so this guy is just, he's a prince. And he took me under his wing. He was great. He showed me the ropes, and I just had
Where'd you meet him?
I met him in Destin, Florida for a charity wine festival that, they'll bring in chefs from all over the country, and then they'll pair them up with Nappa wineries.
Oh, yeah.
And I met him early in my career, and was just a good dude, and caught him on the way down, and he put me on to where I need to be. I will say there's this one joint that I've been looking at wanting to get to, Turkey and Wolf.
Turkey and Wolf.
This sandwich shop. These guys are just crushing it out there, so I want to go see what they're all about.
Yeah, so Currents has been on the show several times.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, right on.
And we've had him on the phone, but then I've done a show from City Grocery or from the bar upstairs with Currents. And it was, an absolute blast. And I've been with him at a golf tournament and stuff like that. He's fun.
I'll say one of the best experiences. This is my third leg. So I've done 42 days and then went home for 2 weeks, 28 days, went home. But the night that I spent with him at his restaurant, I think probably is the pinnacle of the night. It was just, it was so soulful, and there's so many layers to it, obviously, with Anthony Bourdain, and I grew up, and I mean, I modeled my life and the way I'd pursue culture through food and all those things, and to have their friendship and to be able to kind of see where they were for that episode they filmed. It was a special night. It was a good time.
Man, you are gonna have fun in New Orleans, the Warehouse District, Midtown, Uptown, and around the area. So many great restaurants. Todd Newman joining us, Dakota Shy Winery, and they're in the house. They're going to make me sip on some wine in the next segment. I'm looking forward to that. If you've been listening to this show for the last 17 years, you know how much I love vino. He mentioned how wine is a conversation piece, and so is cigars. And of course, we've got some great cigar partners too. Looking forward to continuing to visit with Todd, and we'll also talk some sports. They have some partners, brand ambassadors that enjoy their wine. We're live in the Bank Plus studio. Out of Bounds, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN, brought to you by Briarwood Wine and Spirits, Kessler Prime and the Renaissance. Super Bowl weekend, special guest, Todd Newman, Dakota Shy Winery in the house. We'll be back in a second.
In any industry, but we've been here in the greater Jackson and Vicksburg areas for almost 25 years. We couldn't do that without a dedicated, friendly staff and without loyal customers who trust us. It's really not that complicated. We take good care of our employees and we take great care of our customers. We think that's a pretty good way to run a business. I'm Nick Fulton, and our business is USA Pawn.
Football season is here, and Four Roses Bourbon would like to raise a toast as we celebrate game day. Whether you're sipping on Four Roses Bourbon at the hunting camp, by the fire pit, on the patio, or outdoor kitchen, handcraft the moment with Four Roses Bourbon as they celebrate 130 years. Cheers to Four Roses Bourbon and football season. Be mellow, be responsible.
Honey, don't forget your mom's birthday present.
It's a whole new shopping experience at USA Pawn. We have an amazing selection of quality merchandise, from jewelry and home goods to tools and furniture. And with our prices, it's like everything's always on sale.
What'd you get your mother?
USA Pawn, 3 locations in the Jackson area, plus Vicksburg, Pearl, and Canton. Get mega more at your mega store, USA Pawn.
Game day will never be the same because Pearl River Resort is introducing all new ways to win with Sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. This is your ticket to Vegas-style sports betting, and it's game time. Place your bets on dozens of high-impact sports matchups anytime at the Timeout Lounge. And as always, play over 1,100 Vegas-style slots, 25 table games, and our 14-table poker room. Pearl River Resort is redefining what it means to win with Sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. We're not just fans. We're here to play.
In any industry, businesses come and go, but we've been here in the greater Jackson and Vicksburg areas for almost 25 years. We couldn't do that without a dedicated, friendly staff and without loyal customers who trust us. It's really not that complicated. We take good care of our employees and we take great care of our customers. We think that's a pretty good way to run a business. I'm Nick Fulton, and our business is USA Pawn.
Football season is here, and Four Roses Bourbon would like to raise a toast as we celebrate game day. Whether you're sipping on Four Roses Bourbon at the hunting camp, by the fire pit, on the patio, or outdoor kitchen, handcraft the moment with Four Roses Bourbon as they celebrate 130 years. Cheers to Four Roses Bourbon and football season. Be mellow, be responsible.
Honey, don't forget your mom's birthday present.
It's a whole new shopping experience at USA Pawn. We have an amazing selection of quality merchandise, from jewelry and home goods to tools and furniture. And with our prices, it's like everything's always on sale.
What'd you get your mother?
USA Pawn, 3 locations in the Jackson area, plus Vicksburg, Pearl, and Canton. Get mega more at your mega store, USA Pawn.
Game day will never be the same because Pearl River Resort is introducing all new ways to win with Sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. This is your ticket to Vegas-style sports betting, and it's game time. Place your bets on dozens of high-impact sports matchups anytime at the Timeout Lounge. And as always, play over 1,100 Vegas-style slots, 25 table games, and our 14-table poker room. Pearl River Resort is redefining what it means to win with Sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. We're not just fans. We're here to play.
Press the button, my friend.
The Out of Bounds Show is live from the Whiskey 61 Lounge in the Bank Plus studio.
Check it out.
All right, back segment number 2 with Todd Newman and the Dakota Shy Winery crew. Out of Bounds, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Real quick, as you get ready for the Super Bowl and game day, we want you to think about Boar's Head when you're getting ready for those game day platters and charcuterie boards. Boar's Head, compromise elsewhere. Premium meats, cheeses, and hummus, the number 1 selling hummus in the country. 5th generation owned, still the same family since 1905. Boar's Head, compromise elsewhere as you get ready for the Super Bowl. Todd Newman with us, Dakota Shy Winery out of Nappa. Great story. He's a North Dakota dude. See? North Dakota dude all of a sudden ends up producing great premium juice. And they're on this awesome tour on an RV bus, and there is a Mississippi tie here, which is really cool. Oh, Blake, in the long segment, we'll talk about what a cellarmaster really does.
Yes.
We've had fun with that all week.
Other than like impress women.
Yeah, it sounds like a great pickup line at a bar.
It is. So first off, I have to be honest. So Todd, I got to hang out with Todd and Billy and Newman yesterday.
Go ahead and introduce your friend.
Yeah, Billy Dewey went to Jackson Prep.
Yeah.
He's the cellar master, the ladies' man. Although he just got engaged, so we got to be polite. But Todd, I jokingly said yesterday, well, we've been talking about cellar master, how cool a name that is, and like how impressed people must be when you drop that. And he just looks at me with a straight face and goes, "Try saying you own the winery." I said, "Oh, Todd, I like you."
Yeah, you do like that. Todd Newman with us, Dakota Shy Winery. We will discuss what a cellar master actually does. I think they just go at a party. They're the social chairman, and they go pull the best bottle in the house, which makes everybody kind of gravitate to them. But we're having fun with that. We'll talk more about that in the next segment. Todd, thanks for coming in today. Okay, so tell me what y'all poured for us this morning from Dakota Shy.
Yeah, so, we do several different wines, quite a few, in fact, like 7 different wines. But this guy that we poured today is the Dakota Shy TEN Cabernet Sauvignon. And so my initials, my mom made it easy on me. Middle name Eric, first name Todd, last name Newman. So it's a perfect 10, if you would, for the quality of the wine is what I'm basically getting towards.
I love that.
I wasn't tremendously creative in the arts side of school, so that's what I could come up with. But this wine is effectively all valley floor fruit. So where we're at, we have such an amazing complexity of soils. I mean, there are 110 globally that you can identify. Half of them, or 55, you find in Napa Valley. And so with Napa, all that soil diversification, you basically go valley floor, hillside, and mountain. So what we're tasting today is from the valley floor. So this is a rounder, more supple, what we talk about sort of liquid silk ninja tannin type of wine. It sneaks up on you, but that power is definitely there. Cabernet Sauvignon, so bright red fruits, vanilla, cigar box, which is beautiful with the cigar aficionado tie-in. Right. So, yeah, it's one of our gems. We don't make a lot of wine. We're handcrafted, artisan approach to these types of things. And so I think there's maybe 20 barrels a year of this stuff made.
Okay. And this is delicious, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
And I could pair this with a bone-in ribeye medium rare and be right at home.
Man, and you know what? That's such a good lead from to explain this wine a little bit more. So there's Cabernet Sauvignon in here, and then there's some Cabernet Franc and a little Petit Verdot, right? So those two wines, Cabernet Franc you'll hear of a little bit. Petit Verdot is pretty oddball, okay? So think about that bone-in filet, bone-in ribeye. That's the Cabernet Sauvignon. And then think about Cab Franc as sort of salt and think about Petit Verdot as pepper. You can have the best pedigree cut of beef in the room. You can have the best chef in the country. So technique and pedigree's there. But if you don't season it right, it's not going to be as good as it could have been. And that's what Cab Franc and Petit Verdot do for a wine like this, and especially here at Dakota Shy. We really love blending.
So I love blends too. So it supplements the Cabernet Sauvignon grape.
It elevates it. Yeah.
it.
It brings something else to the table that makes a more complete stunner. I mean, it's another layer that just builds towards it. Typically, Cab Franc's a little bit brighter, higher acid, so that little pop right under your earlobes, your saliva glands, that makes that sort of wave of saliva crash over the palate, and that picks up all the tannin that's stuck on the lips, cheeks, and gums, and that's where all the goodness is.
Dakota Shy Winery. Todd Newman joins us on the Out of Bounds Show, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. Is this your flagship?
This is our heart and soul, yeah. Okay. This is where it really started for us, man. We've got others now, but that's my baby, my firstborn. So I say, you know, we got several different wines. They're like kids, right? You love them equally, but you want to spend a little more time with this one on this particular day. And
that's
so
a great way to frame it up. My kids are teenagers, so I'm running from them right now, but I get where you're going, Todd.
Yeah, right? So, it's just a good, delicious wine. I had tremendous mentorship, so I learned from some of the best.
Blake, it looks like you have a question for Todd Newman,
you know
Dakota
what?
Shy Winery.
Listening to him talk about wine that way reminded me of is when Sean McVay had that interview where he went through like offensive plays from 13 years ago that he remembers like verbatim, every play call, exactly the route that was run, where the ball went to, who caught it, how they did, all that good stuff. That listening to him talk about wine that way is the same thing. It's like you know people who are good at their job, and then you know people who are like good at their job. And that conversation about salt, I've never heard anyone talk about wine where it's like, well, here's the base, and then we salt and pepper it with it. Yeah. That's such a unique thought process into wine where I don't drink it enough like you do, but I never would have thought of wine that way. That's cool.
It is. And this is delicious.
Thanks, man. Yeah, appreciate that.
I mean, I knew it would be because Blake told me about y'all a couple of weeks ago, and it's easy to do research on y'all and so on. And I mean, y'all are doing premium stuff.
Yeah, you know, we're doing luxury stuff, but we're trying to do it humbly. You know, class is always going to be quiet, and luxury can be humble. And so our game is we learn from really the best of the best. We had tremendous mentorship, but I'm a North Dakota boy, and like I didn't grow up on the ultra luxury side. And so for me, this is sort of my middle ground. This is where we can compete with the best wines in the world, but we do so in a way in which we'll let the wine speak in the glass and tell you how good it is.
Who was the first? I've only got about a minute or two here.
Sure.
The next segment will be 24 minutes uninterrupted. But who was the first athlete or sports guy person that y'all got partnered with that you know tasted the wine and y'all cultivated a relationship?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really partnered with any of them, but I mean, if I go back all the years, I got to go back a ways. I've been doing this. You know, there's a couple guys that over the years have been really supportive and good guys. Ricky Fowler has been a pretty cool supporter.
He's a dude.
Yeah, he's a stud, man. So I got the opportunity to visit with him on a trip a couple years back when he come out. And so he's been drinking the Dakota Shy, and I appreciate that. He's just a good dude, and you know, a lot of golfer. Yeah, tremendous golfer. And so a lot of we've got some hockey players, we got some baseball players. I just had dinner with Mark Sanchez, great dude, just all class. Fantastic
Sanchez, Southern Cal.
Yeah, good dude, man. We enjoyed it. So yeah, we've got a few more, but
well, look, it's great because LeBron and all these guys have gotten into the world of wine.
Yeah,
which is only good for you. And when you get to, you know, hang out with some PGA guys and NFL guys who enjoy good vino, that's
you know,
good for the industry.
And in our hood, it's more about Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. Those cats are into it as well.
Those guys are kind of good too.
Yeah, they're kind of good too. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I all those guys are doing it.
Have you been to a Golden State game?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah.
Talking about a fun team to watch. Raining threes.
It's just, it's electric, and it's such a cool stadium. Yeah, it's a good time.
Todd Newman in the house, Dakota Shy Winery. You're listening to the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. As you get ready for Super Bowl 55, game day platters and charcuterie boards. Go with Boar's Head. Compromise elsewhere. Premium meats, cheeses, and hummus for your charcuterie spread. Super Bowl Sunday. Boar's Head. Compromise elsewhere.
Businesses come and go, but we've been here in the greater Jackson and Vicksburg areas for almost 25 years. We couldn't do that without a dedicated, friendly staff and without loyal customers who trust us. It's really not that complicated. We take good care of our employees and we take great care of our customers. We think that's a pretty good way to run a business. I'm Nick Fulton, and our business is USA Pawn.
Football season is here, and Four Roses Bourbon would like to raise a toast as we celebrate game day. Whether you're sipping on Four Roses Bourbon at the hunting camp, by the fire pit, on the patio, or outdoor kitchen, handcraft the moment with Four Roses Bourbon as they celebrate 130 years. Cheers to Four Roses Bourbon and football season. Be mellow, be responsible.
Honey, don't forget your mom's birthday present.
It's a whole new shopping experience at USA Pawn. We have an amazing selection of quality merchandise, from jewelry and home goods to tools and furniture. And with our prices, it's like everything's always on sale.
What'd you get your mother?
USA Pawn, 3 locations in the Jackson area, plus Vicksburg, Pearl, and Canton. Get mega more at your mega store, USA Pawn.
Game day will never be the same because Pearl River Resort is introducing all new ways to win with Sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. This is your ticket to Vegas-style sports betting, and it's game time. Place your bets on dozens of high-impact sports matchups anytime at the Timeout Lounge. And as always, play over 1,100 Vegas-style slots, 25 table games, and our 14-table poker room. Pearl River Resort is redefining what it means to win with Sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. We're not just fans. We're here to play.
In any industry, businesses come and go, but we've been here in the greater Jackson and Vicksburg areas for almost 25 years. We couldn't do that without a dedicated, friendly staff and without loyal customers who trust us. It's really not that complicated. We take good care of our employees and we take great care of our customers. We think that's a pretty good way to run a business. I'm Nick Fulton, and our business is USA Pawn.
Football season is here, and Four Roses Bourbon would like to raise a toast as we celebrate game day. Whether you're sipping on Four Roses Bourbon at the hunting camp, by the fire pit, on the patio, or outdoor kitchen, handcraft the moment with Four Roses Bourbon as they celebrate 130 years. Cheers to Four Roses Bourbon and football season. Be mellow, be responsible.
Honey, don't forget your mom's birthday present.
It's a whole new shopping experience at USA Pawn. We have an amazing selection of quality merchandise, from jewelry and home goods to tools and furniture. And with our prices, it's like everything's always on sale.
What'd you get your mother?
USA Pawn, 3 locations in the Jackson area, plus Vicksburg, Pearl, and Canton. Get mega more at your mega store, USA Pawn.
Game day will never be the same because Pearl River Resort is introducing all new ways to win with Sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. This is your ticket to Vegas-style sports betting, and it's game time. Place your bets on dozens of high-impact sports matchups anytime at the Timeout Lounge. And as always, play over 1,100 Vegas-style slots, 25 table games, and our 14-table poker room. Pearl River Resort is redefining what it means to win with Sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. We're not just fans. We're here to play.
Check this out, y'all.
Live and direct.
From the Whiskey 61 Lounge, it's Mississippi's only food sports show on the airwaves. We're the only World Food Championship host in the state. This is the Out of Bounds Show with Bo Bounds.
Our Super Bowl discussion and coverage is brought to you by Boar's Head. Compromise elsewhere as you're putting together your charcuterie board for Super Bowl Sunday or a game day platter. Premium meats, cheeses, and hummus. Boar's Head. Compromise elsewhere. Out of Bounds, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. Streaming live on the Out of Bounds radio app. You can watch the show right now on YouTube. Search Out of Bounds Sports. You can also watch us on Facebook. Search the Out of Bounds Show. Happy to welcome in Todd Newman, Dakota Shy Winery. And that is DakotaShyWine.com out of Nappa in Northern California. And they're on a great tour, and they're swinging through the coolest part of the country, the Sun Belt, where we know how to do it as far as culinary and hospitality and hosting people. And we know how to party. Billy Dewey is with him. That's the Mississippi tie through the Blakey Blakester. And we're excited to have Billy in studio with us, too. He is a cellar master?
Cellar master, yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into that before we hit some other things. Todd Newman joining me on the show. And, Todd, give me the job description. To me, it's you're at a party and you drop that you're a cellar master, and all of a sudden it gets a woman's attention even more.
Sure.
What is his job description?
Well, yeah, I mean, so the cellar master is basically that's the badge earner. So he's the guy that's really doing a lot of the physical work. He's lifting and cleaning and sanitizing, and he's the guy that's there early and usually the guy that goes home late. And what it is really is it's that stepping stone to become a winemaker. Right. From cellar master, you go to assistant winemaker. From assistant, you go to running the show. And so anybody in our camp starts in the cellar and comes up because you got to know what it is to be wet, to be dirty, to work 18-hour days, 34 days in a row when the harvest comes, because we pick once a year. We got one shot, and so when it's go time, it's go time.
Is that all hands on deck?
That is all hands on deck, and we play pretty aggressive in that circle. We work, so when it's go time, the work-life balance, that doesn't play where we're at.
Right.
So we got to go.
All right, so that's the cellar master.
Grunt. You're the grunt.
Well, the cellar rat is where that's
there's someone lower.
That's the initial. That's the intern. So that's when they come in, and if they earn it, then we'll bring them back and say, okay, you've got what it takes. Let's come in, and we'll want you to be really the guy that's under the assistant winemaker and starts there. But now Billy's done 4 vintages with us. All right, he's 28 years old. He's a young kid. He's 4 years with us, our culture, our camp, the way we do things, and I think you can't. It's just so important, and so he's actually transitioning. He's going to do what I do in the coming years for Dakota Shy, and we're bringing him along on this tour and sort of training him up on the next, the next stage for his career.
And you're out seeing clients, and then they connect you with other clients.
Yeah, it's so much of it is just word of mouth. It's good people doing good things for other good people when there's a great product involved. It's not a complex equation, but it's stuff where you got to put the time in. You got to go out. You got to let people know you appreciate what they're doing. I mean, we make a good that is not necessary. It's not a necessity. I mean, personally, for me, I believe it to be a necessity.
Sure,
but,
me too.
They're spending hard-earned money on these types of things, and we want them to understand what, who, how, and why this wine stands for. And I think coming down to the Sun Belt, like you said, these are some good folks, and they've been very loyal to us all these years, and so I really enjoy coming out here.
So Todd Newman, Dakota Shy Winery, DakotaShyWine.com to check it out online. I want to go over what we're drinking one more time because we have listeners coming in and out.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk about, some of the sports people like Carson Wentz and so on. that y'all have met over the years that like a good glass of wine. So let's go again with what we're drinking this morning.
Yeah, so this is the Dakota Shy TEN Cabernet Sauvignon from Napa Valley. It's a combination of a couple different vineyards, and what we're doing is we're building these layers on this wine, and so this is it's a ripper basically. It's that super velvet, almost masseuse-like structure. It just kind of coats your mouth. It's thick velvet, and then all of a sudden these ninja tannins show up, and it starts to squeeze and grip, and then right as that gets to its point of astringency, think cranberry juice or whatever, you get that acidity that pops the back of those saliva glands and just crashes over the palate, picks up that tannin, and keeps that flavor coming back 30, 40, 50 seconds at a time.
I want y'all to name another sports talk radio show in the Sun Belt or maybe even the Southeast where one of their guests dropped ninja tannins.
Dude, he talks about...
That's...
Listen,
phenomenal.
I've been trying to trademark that for a long time.
You should,
but
they
tell me I can't do it. I know we got to start getting some T-shirts going.
We'll have to hook you up with our trademark guy. He's good.
Yeah.
He's good.
All right.
He talks about wine the way you say I talk about baseball, which is poetically. You know what I mean? There's
I don't think there's any question.
There's a lyrical nature to the way he talks about the wine.
Yeah.
That I think you can only have if you're passionate about a subject, and it brings people in. Like you said, I don't drink wine enough. Right. I had a bad experience at LSU. Shout out Billy Dewey. And
yeah, but that was.
And
I'm not going to name a label because Todd doesn't want me to do that. That was rock gut wine you were drinking at 19 years old.
You said you like blends. It was a blend of 3 boxes is what I'm saying. And they were all different colors. But it is... There's something to be said about when you hear somebody talk about anything passionately, there's no way you can't appreciate what they're bringing to the table. And I think that's important with anything you do. There's a difference between people who go get a paycheck and do something, as Todd mentioned yesterday, for a legacy. And like the Out of Bounds show is something that you're passionate about, you do for the legacy. Clearly, Dakota Shy is the same way for Todd.
Absolutely. It's a great way to frame it up. Ninja tannins. I'm in. And this is delicious juice.
Yeah,
by the way.
If you hear that anywhere else, that came from Dakota Shy.
Yeah,
that's all Dakota Shy.
So I think of a rack of lamb, bolognese. I mean, I could go I could be in a great Italian restaurant and get something that's really got some, oomph to it, and then all kinds of meats and cheeses and so on to pair with your Cabernet Sauvignon.
You nailed it with the rack of lamb, because in this particular one, there's a beautiful herbaceousness to Cabernet Sauvignon. And sometimes you'll hear people say vegetal. Vegetal is a flawed characteristic, but herbaceous is a true characteristic. It's what we call varietal integrity. And those wines should show some of those things. And so for me, rack of lamb and olive and sort of a demi-glaze sort of cooked down. I always find black olives in this wine, and I love olives with racks of lamb, and so it is perfect for the rack of lamb. You can do steak. Frankly, you could do grouper if you wanted. I break rules, so that's you can do whatever you want.
And that's true. Like 25 years ago, they told you had to do this and this, and now we're throwing all that out the door.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Todd Newman in the house. Dakota Shy Winery, DakotaShyWine.com. He joins us on the Out of Bounds show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. You can watch the show right now on YouTube. Hit Out of Bounds Sports, or on Facebook, search the Out of Bounds show. So let's discuss Carson Wentz.
Yeah, so I've never actually met Carson. I should throw that out there.
All right, let's go with Tony Gonzalez.
No Tony.
All right. Who do we?
Well,
what direction we want to go?
So let me throw a little Carson love out there, because I'm a big fan. So I grew up a diehard Philadelphia Eagle football fan. Still am. I know.
Hold on. What was the tie prior to him playing at North Dakota State?
Yeah, NDSU. So I've been a diehard fan since '86. So Buddy Ryan. So I'm an NFC North guy, right? So Detroit's too far, North Dakota. Most people gravitate to the Vikings. Green Bay, too small of a market for me. But Chicago, Buddy Ryan, '85, D coordinator Bears, just punch you in the mouth. Kind of physical play. And I grew up in a house, we wrestled. My dad was a state champ, I wrestled in high school. And it was sort of, there wasn't a lot of hugging it out when you got hurt kind of thing. And so Buddy Ryan emulated that sort of play. And when he went in '86 and Cunningham came in and completely different style of quarterback back then.
Randall
Cunningham and Buddy Ryan and Seth Joyner and all those guys, man. Reggie White, Chris Carter, all of them.
Yeah, Carter was at the Eagles before moving on to the Vikings.
Yeah, and so I went to NDSU for the first 2 years of college in Fargo. My sister still lives there. So really, Bison by trade. And when Carson came up and they jumped up to draft him, I was like, it's meant to be. And it was. And we got our Super Bowl. And he was 12-2 before he got hurt. And I absolutely have aligned my life's success with the Eagles actually winning a Super Bowl. And it hit. And so it's good, man. It feels good.
Fletcher Cox from Mississippi State University.
Stud.
Yes.
Stud.
One of the top 3 defensive linemen in the NFL, along with Aaron Donald and Chris Jones.
That's right.
All right.
That's right. They were the top 3 PFF graded defensive tackles over the last 2 seasons, 3 seasons.
So let me give you a quick backstory, and then we'll get back. Fletcher Cox is from about 30 minutes from here.
Okay.
Yazoo County. Pretty highly recruited, but not as highly recruited as he should have been.
Right.
Goes to Mississippi State, has to start day one. Only plays 3 years. Boom. Eagles draft him. What was it, Blake? 13th or something.
I believe that's correct.
In the NFL draft. And the guy, great. He lives 5 minutes down Highway 463.
Right here?
Yes.
Oh, man. I'm a huge fan. I love that guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's what you want. Hard worker, locked in. He bought in right when he got to Mississippi State and was a great player.
I mean, we locked him up. They love him. It's all about the line power, both sides. And he commands doubles. And, he
plays hard.
And the thing with those guys, the stats don't necessarily line up on how they change the game. Right. And he just jams them up and plugs it up and gives our guys a shot to win every week. Although it was a rough season this year, but
Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
That's so I was at the Super Bowl when the Bears and the Patriots played in the Super Bowl in '85 in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Walter Payton was on that team. He's from here. Played at Jackson State.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's Walter Payton Lane just down this same road, Highway 463. You take a left. And Mike Ditka, for whatever reason, Buddy Ryan was the D coordinator, as you know.
Yep.
46 defense, right?
Yep.
Richard Dent and Mike Singletary, all those dudes.
The fridge.
They didn't allow Peyton to score in the Super Bowl, and we're all still mad about it. They scored 55 points. They beat the Patriots 50-something to 10. But I was a kid, and it was unbelievable to be at the Super Bowl at that age.
I can only imagine. Yeah, I've yet to get to one myself, but I'm looking forward to getting out there. Yeah.
All right, so Todd Newman, Dakota Shy Winery, DakotaShyWine.com on the Philadelphia Eagles fan. North Dakota State. Dude, y'all have a powerhouse football program.
We embarrass D1 schools.
I mean, Kleiman is now at Kansas State.
Yep.
And then even before that, y'all were winning. But there's something, it's like Mississippi as far as it comes to football. We love it, high school, college, whatever.
Yeah. I'm proud of where I'm from. The wine's called Dakota Shy, but you look at UND hockey. I mean, we put the wood to people, man. We're national champs over and over and over again. I think we got 6, 7 of them now. D1 AA football, but I loved it because, the Big Ten, they'd invite us in for their homecoming and write that check for $500,000, easy game, and then we'd just go in and just put the hurt to them. I think Kansas State, Iowa, and Iowa State, we all went on the road and pretty much just embarrassed them. So we don't get those homecoming invites too often anymore.
Game day was at North Dakota State.
They said it was one of the best ones they ever did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blake, do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
Years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Was it post-Wentz or during Wentz? I don't remember.
I want to say post.
Okay.
But I could be wrong. I mean, Wentz would have only played 6 years ago. I don't think it was that long ago.
I want to say it was right on the cusp. It was either, he had just left, but I think he was playing. I really do. Yeah. I think it was 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, it was October of 2013, maybe?
I mean, they came out of the woodwork for that one. I mean, we've got people driving 6 hours from the left side of the state just to get to the east side of the state.
Right.
It was rocking for sure.
That's incredible.
So he leapfrogs over the Vikings and the Packers and the Bears and becomes a Philadelphia Eagles fan from North Dakota.
It just proves that everybody has something bad about them. That's all. That's all it proves.
You know he's a big Dallas Cowboys fan.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, and I suppose Dak being playing there, it helps
just
even
like
more.
you, I watched that happen where they drafted him, and I was like, it's a dream come true.
Yeah, right. Well, I think both of those guys are just stand-up human beings to start, and then they're exceptional football players too. And I mean, they're both. I'm a huge fan of both of them. Obviously, it's hard for me to be a fan of Dak on game day when we're playing the Cowboys because there's just not a lot of love there.
Right.
But as a man and as a player, nothing but respect.
Out of Bounds, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN, WRKS. We're visiting with Todd Newman, Dakota Shy Winery. Also, Billy Dewey. You want to introduce your two guys?
Yeah,
in
man.
studio
I've
with
got, so I've been on the road, 25 days on this leg, and it's like a 42-day. So I'll have some of my team fly in. And Billy, who came to us, 4 years ago as an intern, and just, I'll never forget, he was basically going to be there for 10 weeks. And when we pick fruit during harvest, we sit down as a family and we break bread. So 75 minutes, wines that are, young folks aren't going to be able to really probably afford and ever taste. And we taste a couple wines and we make amazing meals and we sit down and we break bread together. And that's part of the culture and building that environment and that family that we so much believe in. And Billy was a 10-week in and out and, we're moving on. And I just remember we would sit down for meals and the excitement and appreciation that he would have and the smile on his face, it was just like, this kid is awesome. Like, he gets it. He gets what our approach to making wine, the way we want to do it. This is an opportunity for all of us to kind of get better and leap into the passions that we love. And so I just told my business partner and winemaker, Tom, I was like, we got to find a place for this kid.
Nice.
I don't know what we're going to do, but let's find a place for him. And so he's from Jackson, Mississippi. So we're coming back kind of through his roots where he's from and showing Mississippi some love.
It's a great story.
Yeah.
Mississippi is tied to Dakota Shy Winery, and you can visit dakotashywine.com. And then we have someone else in here?
Yeah, Ewan Ronikin, a good friend of mine that I met maybe 9 years ago. Tremendously talented artist on so many fronts. I would urge everybody to take a look at Ewan Art on Instagram. So at Ewan Art on Instagram. This guy dives with great white sharks down in San Guadalupe Islands in Mexico for weeks at a time. He just filmed the Mavericks surf show. They picked him up. Patagonia's picking him up for some of the video stuff that he does. He's just ultra talented, and he's helping us kind of shoot a documentary of the journey that we're on. And, maybe we can cut it and splice it and see if maybe Netflix needs some new documentaries they want to check out.
I like it. So you got a good team.
I got a great team. I got the best of the best.
And that's what it takes. Like
absolutely.
Greg Popovich will tell you. I mean, building.
Big wine guy, too.
Huge wine
Haven't
guy.
got my wine to him yet. I've been trying, but I just can't find a way to get it to him. So hopefully he's listening today.
I feel confident you will some point. Blake?
Can I point out something that he said multiple times that I think is interesting? So we talk about Saban, obviously, and Urban Meyer, and even Dan Mullen, and the guys who do it wrong, like Jeremy Pruitt and Will Muschamp. Talk about culture, right? And we talk about what it takes to be a winner and all that kind of stuff. I find it interesting that they've had 10 years of success and they're growing the way that they are. And the biggest thread that Todd keeps coming back to is culture. That you have to be, even a business, you have to build on the right culture, and the stonework at the bottom has to be sound, because everything else on top can come crumbling down like that if the culture's wrong and you let one bad worm, one bad crack get into that foundation. I think that's interesting that those things tie together.
Well, and it resonates within the company or the team, right? And if it's a rotten culture, we talk about teams who go 4-12, or teams that go 10-6 or 13-3 in the NFL, for example. Or Greg Popovich, talking about a culture. They know what they're doing with the San Antonio Spurs. Yeah, I read. So there's a chapter about him in the book, The Culture Code.
Yeah,
and it kind of walks you through why they're successful. but then it transitions into how big of a wine and food guy he is.
Huge.
And that he's always talking to his players about where they've been, what local restaurants they've hit, and what wine they paired with their food.
Yeah. I just think there's, again, there's a beauty and there's wine is so complex, all right? There's so many pieces that go into it that I can see how he would align to that. Calling plays, structuring, assessing the strengths of teams and what they're going to run and how they're going to do it. And with wine, it's the same thing. Like this vineyard has a particular oomph to it, and we've got to guide this oomph instead of fight this oomph. So this is our strength in this vineyard. We're not going to try and, shoot threes from behind the arc because we got a big man that can put it down in the middle. And so you got to go with what the vineyard says in the same way that you got to go with what your strengths are for your team.
So you, what you do is cool. You own a winery. We've got a couple of minutes here, but you still try to get your juice in front of people, and sometimes you got to work here and there to get it in front of maybe somebody that you admire.
Yeah.
That you would like for them to try your Cabernet Sauvignon or another vintage that y'all make.
Yeah, and this is a great opportunity to do just that. And I just think, I'm a believer. You throw as many things against the wall and you see what sticks, and eventually a couple of them start to stick. And it goes back to, good folks doing good things for other good folks, and you just get one, and then that turns to 3, and 3 turns to 10, and you got to put the work in. And so that's what we're doing, and we love what we do. It's a modern day Kerouac journey on the road, just getting after it and seeing different culture. And I know that this is going to do great things for our brand in the future.
I got a minute or two. Biggest celebrity that you've drank wine with?
Kate Hudson. Fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Oh, cheers to that.
Hello.
Cheers.
We should have led with that.
Cheers.
I find it interesting, too, because we talk about our shows, the All Lifestyle brand. We talk about all the food and stuff. Half our listeners have sent us texts. I'm on their website now. It looks cool. This is an interesting interview. So I think it speaks to how wine and food, as we always talk about, it's the most universal. Drink, but wine specifically in this case, the most universal language. We all eat, we all drink, and we all enjoy having good company.
Where are y'all Sunday? Are y'all still here or heading to New Orleans?
So Billy Boy is throwing down the crawfish boil. Yeah. And so I just had this the other day at Toronto's and by Biloxi. Oh my God, it was so good. So obviously we don't get, a lot of crawfish where I'm from in the Dakotas.
I love it.
He's throwing down on a mean one, and we had some, and it was just next level awesome. And it pairs well with Cabernet. It's a funny thing. But can I just throw one? I got to throw one plug out to my guys in Kansas City, and in Kansas in particular, 2 parts. I had some folks out there that gave me my shot at my dream. I got a business partner out there that they're diehard Chiefs fans. Okay. I'm a diehard Andy Reid fan, and so I got to throw some love out to my boy Andy Reid. So happy for you last year. I love you. Even you had to leave Philly. We get it, but a lot of love for you. And wishing you the best this weekend, and all my buddies for the Chiefs fans back home.
We got 15 seconds. You're pulling for the Chiefs.
I got to pull for the Chiefs. Andy was just, I grew up with Andy. I mean, he was a coach my entire youth and adolescence. I got nothing but love for him.
Todd Newman, delicious juice. This Cabernet Sauvignon is amazing. It is Dakota Shy Winery. Go to DakotaShyWine.com, and they're here for the next couple of days. Great Mississippi tie with Billy Dewey. Appreciate you listening to the show. Have a great Super Bowl weekend. We'll be back here Monday. Thanks for listening to Out of Bounds on ESPN 105.9 The Zone.